Good evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, September the 7th, 2021. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, a Manchester doctor was convicted of dealing opioids. Tullahoma has an award-winning tree, and we learn how cicadas know when to come out of the ground. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I am tremendously blessed to be living at Parkview and very happy to be part of a loving and caring community.
Best thing you can say is this really a great place to live. That's all there is to it, no doubt about that.
It's your home. You just do what you would if you were at your private home. You know, we love it. It's great.
It's just like having a whole neighborhood around you, and it's fun.
It's just a great place to live.
Welcome back. On September 1st, following a 3-day trial in the United States District Court at Chattanooga, a jury convicted Mark Daniel Allen, age 64, formerly of Manchester, Tennessee, of unlawfully distributing prescription opioids to patients at a clinic he owned in Manchester. Following the jury's verdict, Allen was taken into custody. Sentencing is scheduled for January 21st, 2022, before the Honorable Travis R. McDonough. Allen faces up to 20 years in prison for each count of conviction. According to court documents and evidence presented at trial, Allen was a nurse practitioner who distributed oxycodone not for a legitimate medical purpose outside the course of professional practice and used his clinic for unlawful drug distribution. Specifically, the evidence showed that through his clinic, Volunteer Family Medical, he wrote controlled substance prescriptions for more than 15,000 pills to 3 women with whom he had sexual relationships and a male patient who later passed away. Allen was convicted of 1 count of maintaining a drug-involved premises and 6 counts of unlawful distribution of a controlled substance outside the scope of professional practice. Assistant Attorney General Kenneth Polite Jr. of the Justice Department's Criminal Division, Acting U.S. Attorney Francis Hamilton III of the Eastern District of Tennessee, Special Agent in Charge Joseph Carrico of the FBI's Knoxville Field Office, Special Agent in Charge Derek Jones of the Department of Health and Human Services, Office of the Inspector General, and Director David Roush of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation made the announcement. The FBI, TBI, Manchester Police Department, and Coffee County Sheriff's Office investigated the case. Assistant U.S. Attorney James Brooks of the Eastern District of Tennessee and Trial Attorney Emily Petro of Criminal Division's Fraud Section represented the United States at trial. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Suicide prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Join us on September 18th at Manchester Rotary Park at 9 a.m. as we walk to fight suicide and raise awareness about mental health. Be a part of the movement turning hope into action and create a culture that's smart about mental health. Funds raised at the walk will benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Sign up at afsp.org/coffeecounty.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. Recently, news leaders John Gray spoke with Tullahoma Mayor Ray Noas about new businesses coming to Tullahoma.
The mall is changing character. Instead of an indoor mall that the traditional mall, it will be more of a storefront mall that seems to be the preferred type of mall across the country today.
Right.
And we do have, specifically, we do have some changes, obviously changes that are going on. Some of those can be announced, and
some of them can't.
Some of them can't. because some of them are still in negotiation.
Still pending.
But it has been announced that we are expecting a Marshalls to come where the Hibbett's store is now. Those plans have been that has been publicly announced. Now there are other stores that are being modified. The old Best Buy, that end of the mall, is being renovated, and there are some potentials that are being courted, if you will, right now with the developers. And
you mean Big Lots?
Big Lots is what I mean, yes.
Yeah.
But not Best Buy, but Big Lots. Yeah. That's correct. So
that's a good sized space.
It's a good sized space, and some good things are in the works there.
Yeah.
And
good.
The developers are encouraged that can happen. Of course, the Brookside Properties, they're the primary owner of the mall there now, and and Brookside will be a stakeholder.
Right, sure.
Look at that.
Sure, so that's going on, and then on the other side of the street there, I've noticed that there's some construction where one of the chicken places was.
Bojangles is no longer there, but we have a Highway 55 coming to town, and the delays in that building are, there's some concern as to just why those delays are, and it's discouraging to see buildings that get started and renovations get started, and then because you can't get material
right
to complete your remodeling, that goes too slowly. But that is one of the things that's holding that up for Highway 55, and anxious to see that come to town. I understand it's one of the better places to have a traditional 50s style burger place.
Right, and I mean, I think they're going to have a lot of the stainless steel and the neon and all of that stuff. It's supposed to be a really cool looking building.
Right.
The Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen honored from Tullahoma High School at their latest meeting.
This evening we have a certificate of recognition that is a great pleasure to present. Here's a certificate of recognition to Amy Pham, the 2022 for the state of Tennessee Distinguished Young Woman, and the 2022 Cumberland Valley Distinguished Young Woman. So at this time, let me read some of the things that made this possible. She was selected as the James Dunn Spirit of Distinguished Young Women here in Tullahoma. She completed as Cumberland Valley's Distinguished Young Woman. So she's been doing a lot of things that have made her most honorable here tonight. So let me read the certificate to Ms. Vaughn. Excuse me, not Ms. Vaughn, but Ms. Pham. City of Tullahoma certificate of recognition presented to Amy Pham on behalf of the estimated, listen to this, 20,339 citizens that call Tullahoma home, and by the authority vested in me as mayor of Tullahoma, I now proclaim in recognition of your achievement as 2022 Tennessee Distinguished Young Woman and 2022 Cumberland Valley Distinguished Young Woman on Monday, August 30th, 2021. This will be Amy Pham Day in Tullahoma, and urge and beseech all citizens to recognize the same. So Ms. Pham, if you'd please come to the podium, please. And the podium is yours. Why don't you take a minute and tell us about your achievements?
Hi, my name is Amy Pham. I've had the honor to represent the city of Tullahoma and Cumberland Valley at state, where now I have the honor to represent the state of Tennessee. I'll be competing in June next year for the Distinguished Young Woman of America. It was an amazing experience. I'm still working very hard to be a great representative, not only for the city of Tullahoma, but for the state of Tennessee as well. Thank you guys so much.
You'll do us proud. Thank you. And another recognition goes to a young woman, Ashley Vaughn, for the 2022 Tullahoma Distinguished Young Woman. The City of Tullahoma certificate of recognition presented to Ashley Vaughn on behalf of the estimated 20,339 citizens that call Tullahoma home, and by the authority vested in me as mayor of Tullahoma, I now therefore proclaim in recognition of your achievement 2022 to Tullahoma's Distinguished Young Woman, Monday, August 30th, 2021. Ashley Vaughn Day in Tullahoma, and urge all and beseech all citizens to recognize the same. Ms. Vaughn? Congratulations.
Thank you. Hey everyone. DYW was such an amazing experience, local and at state. I got to meet so many new girls, and I'm just so excited to help the class of 2023 next year and doing DYW. So thank you so much for letting me be here.
Thank you.
And after these messages, we'll be right back.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails. Welcome back. In this segment of our coverage of Tullahoma's Lunch and Learn regarding the cicadas, we learn how they know when to emerge and something about the different broods.
And how do they know when to come up together? So they all kind of monitor the temperature. When the temperature down below the frost line, it's about 8 inches below the ground. When it hits 64 degrees, that's when that's their signal. 64 degrees, time to get up. And the way that they tell the passage of 17 years, we think that they can kind of tune into the changes in the tree sap as it's going up and down. You know, it's in the winter it pretty much stops. In the summer the trees are sucking up lots of water, so they can tell it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. So for 17 cycles of that, they'll follow that, and they know when it's the 17th year, and when it gets warm enough, they're gonna all come up together. So this is actually from this year. I was watching the temperature every day, and the soil temperature lags about 3 days behind the rest of the air temperature. So watching it. This is April on the left and May on the right are the dates at the bottom. And so we get up 53 degrees, 57, 62, we're getting close on the 27th, and then on the 28th, whoops, here they come. So these are some holes in the soil. They'll tunnel up like that. And we've got a little mulch bed in front of our sidewalk, and that's what they come up looking like that in those shells. And the first thing they want to do is find some kind of vertical surface. At our house, it's a brick wall. We've got this maple tree in our yard too, and they're going to climb up, and they're going to latch onto something, and then they'll split that skin and become an adult. So this is a time lapse of one on our door frame, actually. Pops out of there. Yep. They'll unfold their wings, and it takes them about 90 minutes actually to crawl out of that shell. and then another 90 minutes or so to dry. And they'll pump fluid through those wings to unfold them, and then they'll wait for their skeleton on the outside to dry and get hard. And right now they're white. That's actually the best time for anybody to eat them, humans or anything else.
Okay, is that from experience?
No, that's what I've heard. That's when they're. So what I heard was like when they're like this, they're kind of like shrimp, and then once they get hard, well, see, okay, so this is once they've hardened up. They turn black and they get kind of crunchy on the outside, and it's kind of like the tail end of the shrimp, the part that you spit out. So they're gonna shed their skin. You can see that one is actually hanging from the shed skin. That's called an exuvia. Actually, snakes shed their skin. That's also called an exuvia. So anything that comes out of its skin like that leaves the exuvia behind. So, like I said, this was all April 28th, and they will emerge for about 2 weeks. They'll all kind of synchronize to within about 2 weeks. And the other thing, a big rain is something that triggers them. So when that soil gets about 64 degrees, and then they all get a big rain, they all start to come up together. They can come up to about 1.5 million per acre is an estimate. There can be a bunch of them. And once they've hardened up and they're able to fly, they're going to get up into the trees. They spend all that time down in the soil trying to escape from predators, and now they're going to get up into the trees. And you definitely don't want to be walking around where there's dogs and raccoons and everything else, right? Because you'll get eaten pretty quick. So they get up into the trees and they all start to sing. The males will sing to attract females. And a group of males all together is called a lek. They all combine their singing voices and try to bring in as many females as they can. So they can actually get pretty loud, upwards of 100 decibels, which is like an ambulance siren or an airplane taking off. This is called their timbal. That's the organ that they use to make the sound. And I've heard it described as like a bendy string. Like when you put it in and out, it makes that noise. And the males, the inside of their body is hollow. So it's kind of like the inside of a guitar. It helps to resonate and amplify the noise. So they use those timbals to make the sound, and then their body amplifies the sound. And all together, they can get really loud. So let me see if I can play some cicada songs here. So this is, I'm going to play the Pharaoh cicada first. This is the biggest one. It's the biggest species. But remember, they all look pretty similar. And in places where you have all three species, they all come up in the same year at the same time. So we actually in Knoxville, I know we had at least two of these kinds, because I could hear the difference. So this is the Pharaoh. This is the Cassini. This is the other one we had in Knoxville. It kind of sounds more like a clicking noise. And then this is the other kind, the Decula group, sounds like this. And then when you get them all together, they sound like this. So the whole purpose of this is to attract the females, to get lots of cicadas together and to be able to mate. The females and the males are easy to tell apart because the females have something called an ovipositor. It's a little tube right there on the back. Males are just flat on the bottom, so they're really easy you can flip them over and look at it, tell pretty easily. The female will lay about 400 to 600 eggs, and like we said, she will cut into those twigs. They actually have serrations on you can't see it there, but that ovipositor is serrated, and they'll saw into little twigs about the diameter of your straw, about the size of a pencil, out on the end of the branches, and they'll go in and they'll saw those little slits, and she'll deposit the eggs inside. And she'll put about 30 in each slit until she runs out of branches or runs out of eggs. And so yeah.
We'll be right back with more news after these messages.
Hi, I'm Fran Gray with Alzheimer's Tennessee. When you receive a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease for yourself or someone you love, please know that you do not have to go through this journey alone. Alzheimer's Tennessee is here for you to provide support and education, all the help you may need to get through this challenge. Our number is 931-434-2348. We encourage you to give us a call. We're here to help.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Welcome back. Tullahoma Tree Board officials and the Tullahoma City Forester were delighted to learn that the largest tree in Tullahoma, a willow oak off of East Lincoln Street, was named a state champion tree by the University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture Champion Tree Program this week. The Tullahoma willow oak, nominated by Tullahoma City Forester Lyle Russell in October of 2020, resides at 204 East Lincoln Street behind the Painted House. It measures 92 feet tall, 255.6 inches around, and has a 115.9 foot crown spread, the diameter of the crown measuring end to end. Russell said, quote, "This is an amazing designation to receive. Based on the measurements, that puts this tree around 259 years old. It's seen every bit of Tennessee's and Tullahoma's history, and even predates the United States by a few years," end quote. The champion tree candidate is awarded points based upon trunk circumference, crown spread, and total height. If the candidate tree is awarded a total point value that exceeds that of the current champion by 5 or more, or there is no current champion, that candidate assumes the title. If the total point value of 2 trees is within 5, they may share the title as co-champions. Tree Board Chairman Ralph Graham said, "About 6 years ago, we nominated this tree for the champion title, only to find there was already a willow oak champion in Shelby County at that time. They told us the Tullahoma tree would be listed next in line should something happen to the current champion. Receiving this designation is a delightful surprise," end quote. Shelby County willow oak is still alive. However, the Tullahoma willow oak has surpassed it in size since the last time measurements were taken. The Tullahoma willow oak is now 9 feet taller and 15 inches larger in circumference, according to the Champion Tree website. The Tullahoma willow oak is on private property owned by Annie Roan, who said, quote, "I take no credit for the magnificent tree in the backyard of the Painted House, but I feel very blessed to get to claim it as mine. The tree's grandeur is not lost on anyone who visits. I am thrilled that this is being recognized, and I'm hopeful it will be visited, loved, and respected by many for many years to come," end quote. According to the University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture website, Tennessee launched its Champion Tree program in the mid-1970s with the intention of identifying and cataloging the largest native trees in East Tennessee. The program has now expanded to accept trees from across the state. In collaboration with the Tennessee Division of Forestry, the Department of Forestry, Wildlife, and Fisheries at the University of Tennessee actively administers the State Champion Tree program. A virtual award ceremony crowning the Tullahoma willow oak will be held on September 20th at 9:30 a.m. and is open to the public via a registration link. To find out how you can attend the virtual award ceremony, contact the Tullahoma City Forester at lrussell@tullahomatn.gov. And don't forget to tune in to this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week we'll hear about the Imagination Library of Coffee County's upcoming pancake breakfast. We'll hear some South Jackson Street Band music and learn about the history of Labor Day. All that and more on this week's Living. And stay with us, we'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
To be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine.
I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus.
I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends.
Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
We're losing it, doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
The food at Parkview, well, I haven't had a bad meal there yet.
The food at Parkview is absolutely scrumptious. I mean, it is really good. It's just like home cooking.
And then there are the cookies. Oh my, they bake cookies every day and they are super.
The food is truly incredible, and it's like being on a cruise ship.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1925 at 104 degrees. The record low was in 1896 at 44 degrees. Average high for this day is 84, and the average low is 62. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 64. Mostly sunny for Wednesday with a high of 84 and a low of 57, and sunny skies for Thursday with a high of 80 and a low of 56. And that's our News Leader Report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evenings at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader on 6. Stay safe. Have a great evening.